Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Ruby, and today I am here with you once more. Welcome to my returning viewers, welcome to my new subscribers. Thanks for having you on my channel, and I do hope we will learn from each other. Today is a very hot day. I'm sitting outside in the backyard, but even though it's hot, the wind is blowing a little bit, the leaves are moving. And in today's video, I would like to talk about spina bifida and how it affects an individual. Remember, as I've always mentioned, that I am not a medical doctor, right? But these are things that affect my everyday life or affect people within my surroundings, right? So first of all, let's say, what is spina bifida? Spina bifida is a birth defect which affect the developmental delay of a baby when that baby is born, and it started during the first, should I say, the first trimester of pregnancy, when the fetus is being formed. Some people will find out that the baby has spina bifida from the child was maybe about, say, 11 weeks old in the womb. And how does spina bifida occurs, from my knowledge, dealing with a kid that has spina bifida, is that during pregnancy, like, the baby is formed, the fetus is formed like in a little coil, like a mosquito destroyer coil. So it goes round in a circle and then it goes out. So one day now, remember, our message is being sent to our brain, right? So for one day, that message is not sent to the brain, so the baby decide that the baby is going to rest for that day. The fetus is going to rest for that day, and in that day, it caused a gap in that little round thing. It caused a gap, right? And it can either cause the baby to have a hole in the back of the spine, or it can allows a bump to grow on the outside of the baby's spine, right, in the back. So what happened? The danger is, if that is inside of the fetus growing through the development stage, it is more dangerous, because it sometimes water can sneaks in. Whereas if it's on the outside, it's dangerous too, but it's not all that dangerous as if it was inside, right? So what happened with a child with a spina bifida? If the lower the spine, on the spine, it is much more better for that child, because remember, our spine send a message to the brain. It it teaches us how to walk, how to talk, and so forth. So the Lord is, that child is more able to do certain things as a normal child. The higher up it is, that child will sometimes won't be able to do anything for his or herself, right? So that child would maybe be stuck in a wheelchair for the rest of their life, and having someone to take care of them. While if it's lower, the, like a L, lower lumbar, that child will have some form of difficulties, but most likely that child will be able to walk like a normal child, but have little challenges, developmental delays, right? So what happened with a child with spina bifida, right? Sometimes this child will take a longer time to do things as a normal child will. So they will take a longer time to, like, say, to crawl, creep, we call it, walk, talk, run, jump as a normal child. They will even have difficulty controlling their bowel and bladder, right? So sometimes you will have a child, as a child grows, maybe potty training stage, it will take a longer time for them to be potty trained, while some child are potty trained by, these kids nowadays, they move fast, right? So a spina bifida child will goes maybe up to 5 years in their life before they actually learn how to control that bowel and bladder movement, right? So in that process of time, the child has to do like series of MRIs, MRIs. They have to do ultrasounds of the kidneys to see if the kidneys either emptying, if the bladder is emptying everything, or if they're backing up, which cause them to sometimes have urine escaping, right? Sometimes a child with spina bifida will do a number two, will defecate on themselves, and they won't even know because sometimes some of these kids has no feelings from the waist down, so that is why they have to get different therapies like occupational therapies, speech therapies, um, and so forth. And sometimes it's hard for us as mom and dads to deal with the child. If you have a child who maybe you weren't diagnosed during pregnancy, you weren't diagnosed at birth, right? And then you have a child that you see that this child is say five years of age, and they're still maybe peeing the bed, they're still defecating on themselves, and you be like, oh, you're so nasty, you're so lazy, you don't want to go to the bathroom. Please don't just take it lightly. Take that child, take that take that child to the doctor and maybe explain to the doctor, and maybe that doctor can do some tests on the kid to see if everything is normal, because not every child is, what should I say now, I want to use the right word, not every child development strategy is at the same age. My child is different, your child is different, so we have to know our kids, right? in jamaica in Jamaica, and I always use Jamaica because I'm from Jamaica, right? I'm from Jamaica, and I always tend to use Jamaica as comparison when I do videos. I remember growing up, we would have kids. I remember one particular kid growing up, and that that little boy, he walks funny. He didn't he didn't walk until he was maybe like 4, and he walked with a limp. And the people in the community would say, oh, his mom had sex with him. His mom had sex with another man during the time that she was pregnant with this kid, and she broke the baby leg. That is why because the baby was still breastfeeding, this is why the baby is walking like that. That's a reaction because the mom cheated. No, nothing is like that. That's just a myth. If you have a child that during the first learning stage of walking, that child walks with a limp, you can never tell. Maybe one of the leg is longer than the other. So you need to take that child to a doctor, go see an orthopedic doctor, and let them determine what is wrong with that child. Also, if you have a child who in the morning, you wake up in the morning, the diaper constantly wet, and this child is growing now, going to kindergarten, elementary, you notice the bed is wet, middle school, the bed is wet. Please don't just curse that child, tell that child that they're lazy and they don't want to get up in the night and go to the bathroom. That child might have some bowel or bladder problems, so issues. So you need to go take that child to go see a doctor. Take that child to go see their primary care doctor, and they will maybe refer you to see I don't want to call the wrong name, a urologist, to have them do some testing on the child to see if their bladder is emptying or if they're backed up. So that is what's causing them to pee the bed at night. And if you have a child that is defecating on themselves after, say, maybe the age of six, that child is still defecating on themselves, also take that child to the primary care doctor and have them go see a GI to have them do some tests, GI, have them do some tests to see if they can maintain their feces, or whenever time it's time for them to go, if they have to go. And their exercises, you can do a pelvic floor therapy. You can have them do pelvic floor to see if you can tighten those muscles, to see if they can hold the stool, you know. And you have other things that they can use. You can if you find out that your child is constipated, you can give them like little laxative, you know, just to have them go smoother, have them have a smoother, have them eat more fruits, more berries, and have them drink more waters and stuff like that. So please, I'm asking you, if you have these kids, don't just give up on them. Don't just give up on them. Just have them see their doctor. Also, spina bifida, it affects their behavioral on a whole, and it's also neurological related. So sometimes a kid with spina bifida might need a shunt, or they might not need a shunt, because sometimes you have fluid built up on the brain, and I think it's called hydrocephalus. If I'm calling the word properly, someone please correct me. You know, and that causes pressure on the brain. So that child may take a longer time to learn, might take a longer time to grasp of stuff when being taught. So don't just curse your child saying that, hey, you're slow, you know, you don't want to learn. Just take time and know your kid. Know your kid. Having a child with spina bifida, also, that child might need to wear an AFO or a SMO, or sometimes they might have to sleep in some of these braces, just to stretch their leg, because what happened, the muscle in the foot, sometimes they're so tight. So what happened, they, you know, they might have a flat foot, or they might not be able to lift their toes above the ground like that, you know. So they use these braces, let them sleep in these braces and help them to stretch the legs. And then meanwhile they sleep in the brace at night, they have them wear an FMO ankle brace in the day to give them balance, you know. So if you have a child who's struggling with walking, don't just say, oh, my child has a weak leg. So don't just leave it like that. Please do seek medical attention. And as I said before, I am not a medical doctor, but this is some of the things that I go through in my day-to-day life, right? And also 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 another thing with having a child who has spina bifida, they can live a normal life with having going to kindergarten, um, middle school, college. They can have a normal life, have their degree, pursue their to the highest level which they chooses. It's just us as parents have to be patient with the child and remember that each child learned different. And if you have a child who has spina bifida, just be patient with them. Just be patient. These kids, they need extra love. They need extra attention. And remember, it's not their fault why they came into the world as kids with birth defect. It's not our fault as mom while we give birth to a child with a birth defect. So please, I'm asking fathers out there, don't go and blame the mom that you did something during your pregnancy that you weren't supposed to do. That is why your child has a birth defect. And there are resources out there that we can use. So if you have a child that you notice something is wrong with that child, from that child is a baby, don't just depend on your doctor alone. There is Google. There is so many things. There is AI. There is so many things you can go and get information from. Just use your resources. Use your resources. And as I said, there's so much to be learned. So much to be learned. And with this being said, I hope it's so hot. With this being said, I hope it might touch someone's heart too. If you have a child that you notice these things are happening to just pay attention and go and seek help for that child. Don't just say, hey, you're lazy, you don't want to crawl, you don't want to this, you don't want to that. Just get medical attention for that child. And with this being said, I'll leave you for now. And if this video was something that interests you, please let me know. And if you need more information on spina bifida, I'm here. Just let me know. And with this being said, this is your girl. We'll be saying bye for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And just enjoy your life. Bye. Have a good day.